the map, and Luxury is starting to secure a foothold on this game. He's once again prevented the turn from having free run the map, and those Zerglings might be able to catch those siege tanks as well. Hwasin retreating within the range of the cliff siege tanks, and that was crucial for Hwasin that he saved those siege tanks, but Luxury has forced Hwasin to lift that command center away from that, or even cancel. I'm not sure if the command center actually went down, but Luxury now needs to take advantage of this positioning to try and secure another expansion, and he could try and secure the expansion at the 9 o'clock position just north of his 8 o'clock expansion, and he's put a lurker down there, and it looks like that is the place where Luxury is going to try and make a stand and try and take an expansion down. Luxury with a couple of Scourges and Zerglings, and once again going in with the Defilers, using the Swarm, but he should have brought those Scourges in there. He's bringing the Scourges in, I believe, a little bit too late. I'm not sure if the Scourges are going to be able to take the Science Vessels down. One of the Science Vessels gets taken down, the second Science Vessel is also going to take it down. Both the Science Vessels get taken down, and Hwasin is left with Siege Tanks and Medic and Marines, and Hwasin in huge trouble here. He's sinking and sinking fast, and is his MSL dream gonna come to a grinding halt here? Because if he can't secure a win on Destination, which is hugely imbalanced for Terran versus Zerg, then he's gonna really struggle on the other matches against the Zerg opponent, who I'm sure is gonna have a slightly better advantage, or at least a slightly more even advantage. And really, all credit to Luxury. He's played a brilliant game of StarCraft, and it looks like Luxury is now getting into a position where he really should be able to win this matchup. Luxury once again coming in with the Defilers, trying to get in range. Hwasin's got a good spread of his siege tanks, so I don't think Luxury is enough to really be able to do much damage against Hwasin's forces in the wall. And Luxury once again catching a brilliant play. And Luxury's plays has been brilliant against Hwasin's forces in this matchup. He once again managed to take out a decent group of, about half a group of Medic and Marines, as well as a siege tank. And Hwasin really just hasn't been able to build up or really push out. But now he has got to force about 7 or 8 siege tanks. So if he does get a push, he's got to force about 10 siege tanks. If he does get a push going, he's going to roll down Luxury. But the problem for Hwasin is that he doesn't have the Medic and Marine forces he needs to support those siege tanks. Another decent plague by Luxury, and now swarms as well over those siege tanks. Managing to take another couple of siege tanks down, but Luxury doesn't have the Ultralisk really to maraud through Hwasin like he needs to be able to. Hwasin is trying to push out slowly and take control of the map and take that expansion down, because Hwasin is getting mined out as well as his natural expo. So Hwasin is now down to the 1 base. Luxury still has the 2 bases, because remember his 4 o'clock expo went down a lot later than Hwasin's 10 o'clock. Actually, Hwasin's 10 o'clock expo went down at the same time, and Luxury has been mining at 8 o'clock expo for some time. So Luxury almost down to the 1 base, but he is got a position. And Luxury once again at that bridge. Hwasin trying to come down and take out that 8 o'clock expansion, and unfortunately for him, getting his Medic and Marine caught between a rock and a hard place and getting crushed, and losing most of his forces, losing most of his Marines, and he's going to lose most of his Medics as well. They're trapped. Luxury now coming in with the Scourges against those undefended Science Vessels. Hwasin's trying to pull those Science Vessels back into the production of the Marines, but there's only 3 Marines, and they're not able to kill the Scourges back in time, and he loses his last 2 Science Vessels as well, and that's got to be hurting Hwasin big time. He's lost another couple of Science Vessels. Luxury is really lifted his game here in the middle latter part of the match, now killing Science Vessels almost as will, and fighting all over the map, and really showing the multitasking that he is capable of, and really raising his game. And Hwasin is having trouble keeping pace, and Luxury now taking out more of Hwasin's troops in the middle of the map, and Hwasin's siege tanks are vulnerable because they've got no Medic and Marines to defend them, and once Luxury's Zerglings get in play, those tanks are going to get taken down, and Luxury with the lone lurker is able to push Hwasin back. Hwasin has managed to save most of his Medics, but he's only got a couple of Marines. He needs to push a couple more Marines on. He's now got a full control group of Medic and Marines to try and protect those siege tanks, but Hwasin looks like he's almost mined out at that 10 o'clock expo. Luxury is now going to come in range, and he's going to take those siege tanks down with another swarm, and he's going to take most of those Medic and Marines down as well, and Hwasin has got no cliff support this time. He just doesn't have the resources for it. He just doesn't have he has 1 siege tank over the cliff, but it's not going to bother Luxury too much, and Luxury's done a great job of limiting Hwasin's Science Vessel fleet just as it looked like it was approaching critical mass, and now Hwasin is in huge trouble here, because Luxury's got run on the map, and Luxury with a great swarm and a plague catching most of those medics in that plague with that Defiler. Luxury's Defiler play has been stellar in this game, alongside his ability to keep that Science Vessel count down. He's really done a good job with those Hydralisks and the Scourges ultimately, even though he wasted a few Scourges initially. But now Luxury's got run on the map, and Hwasin is running out of resources, and Luxury has done a great job because he's controlled the game for the most part and kept Hwasin landlocked and kept Hwasin locked at the top left hand corner of the map for the vast majority of the game. And now Luxury's coming in to Hwasin's last mining outpost, which is the 10 o'clock expansion, and once that gets taken down, Hwasin is going to be in huge trouble. He's not going to be able to replenish his forces. Actually, Hwasin wasn't almost mined out. It was actually his natural expo that was almost mined out, but it now looks like that expansion is going to get taken down, and he's not going to be able to do anything because Luxury's got burrowed lurkers at that, and Hwasin coming with massive fire bats trying to save that expansion. Looks like he just about might be able to save that expansion. He does save that expansion. He's going to still have resources for a little bit longer, but Luxury in a much stronger position in terms of his economy. He's got 2 bases fully secured. Luxury carelessly using some Scourges there. This is the last thing he needs, and Hwasin with essentially mainly fire bats. Luxury fighting with Defiler, Ling, and Defiler Ling and Scourges, not using Lurkers anymore, and that's why Hwasin switched to primarily Firebats. But Hwasin now coming under fire, losing a bunch of Firebats as he tries to run over a group of Lurkers, and Luxury's Lurkers hatched just in time as Hwasin was pushing forward, and so now he's going to be forced to retreat. He's going to lose a lot of Firebats. Those Firebats are plagued, and that plague is really hurting Hwasin, because those Firebats are getting one-shot killed by the... And here comes Scourges to take out all of Hwasin's SCVs, and he just managed to build up about 4 or 5 or 6 science vessels, and he's now lost another 4 science vessels. So Hwasin in massive trouble here, and Luxury is going to take this game. This is going to be GG. Epic win by Luxury. You gotta feel bad for Hwasin, but I feel that Luxury's played the better StarCraft and really deserves the victory in this matchup, and he's going to take a really strong 1-0 lead into the next round, and Hwasin's going to have a lot of trouble coming back from this defeat, because this is the map that he was expected to win on, but that initial ploy of going for the 2-rack sunken break didn't work out for him, and Luxury with the 12 hash was able to take the economic advantage and really drive home. And now Luxury with his Zerglings marauding against Hwasin's SCVs, and now he's got 3 Lurkers, and this is going to be an SCV turkey shoot right here. SCVs running right to their death. SCVs running right to their death into those Lurkers and getting taken out, and that's Hwasin's economy done for. What little of it there was remaining, what little scraps there were remaining. Hwasin again trying to do a good job of microing those science vessels. He has microed well, but Luxury's really upped his game in the latter half of this matchup and micro those Scourges beautifully. Hwasin is going to get that command center down, but he's got no SCVs to mine from it, and Luxury continuing to keep the pressure on, plaguing his own Lurkers to try and take those science vessels down. I think it was probably worth it, and Hwasin with the last ditch attack now against Luxury's 4 o'clock expansion. And Hwasin, I think the key thing for Hwasin has been that he's never been able to get an economy strong enough to get more than that 4 racks going, which is why his Medic and Marine production hasn't been up there, and that's why Luxury's been able to keep that Medic and Marine count down throughout this game. And now Luxury again with the Hydralisk against those Firebats, and the Hydralisks are anathema to those Firebats. Luxury with Lurkers and Hydralisks in the middle of the map, once again going to wipe out the remaining stragglers of Hwasin's forces and going to take them down. This is going to be GG right here, folks. Hwasin should probably GG now because he's got nothing left to fight against, and Luxury with a massive advantage now in this game. Luxury still hasn't put another expansion down, but this is going to be GG. Hwasin has got that command center down, but he's got no mining capability. He's got no SCVs. He's finally sending some SCVs out to mine his last 3 SCVs, but there's no way he's going to be able to come back in this game. He just isn't able to do any damage against Luxury's economy, and Luxury has got map control, and Luxury with those Lurkers still positioned outside Hwasin's bridges, doing some damage to those SCVs. I think he managed to kill 1 out of those 3 SCVs, and now Hwasin is going to try and surround those Lurkers, but unfortunately for him, Luxury's going to reinforce them just in the nick of time, and Hwasin is going to finally GG. Brilliant game of StarCraft, absolutely epic, but you can just see how hard the Zerg player has to work to secure a win on destination versus his Terran opponent. But well played Luxury. He takes a decisive advantage into the next round, and Hwasin is going to be absolutely sick right now because he would have expected to stroll through this map and taken a 1-0 advantage into in this best of 3, but he hasn't been able to do that, and disappointing considering that Terran versus Zerg is his best matchup statistically. Nevertheless, great game by Luxury. GG guys, this is Klazart. My voice is gone casting that game, but I hope it was worth it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for listening.
정말 오래간만에 재밌는 경기를 봤다는 생각이 들고 다른 쪽 멀티 가져갈 시간적 여유가 없었거든요. 오히려 정말 경기에 있어서 다른 쪽 멀티 가져가지 말고 한두 개 먹고 싸우자 이런 방식이 있으면은 정말 재밌는 경기가 많이 나올 것 같다는 생각이 듭니다. 더군다나 이게 끝나는 게 아니라 이 다음 주에 2세트가 또 기다리고 있지 않습니까? 예, 그렇기 때문에 이제 진영 선수도 끝까지 좀 포기하지 않는 이런 모습을 보여줬지만 결국 기분 좋은 거는 다 찾습니다. 네. 예. 더군다나 그 어려운 살림살이를 정말 경제적으로 꾸려나가면서 잘하면 크거든요. 그렇죠. 자, 이렇게 해서 박찬 선수가 상대 전적 2대5로 뒤지고 있던 진영 선수를 기분 좋게 MSL 16강 첫 번째 경기 통해 잡아냈고요. 40분간 경기를 펼쳤습니다. 40분간. 네. 어떻게 보면 오히려 박찬 선수를 이 경기 내줬으면은 기분이 진영 선수보다 더 나빴을 거예요. 초반에 상대방의 체제 100% 확인하고 좋은 출발을 했기 때문에. 예. 자, 이렇게 해서 오늘 세 번째 경기의 주인공은 박찬 선수였고요. 와, 진이 빡치죠. 내가 어떻게 이겼지? 40분에서 1시간 정도 경기 펼치면 멍해요. 기분이 좋아도 우선은 잠깐은 멍해요. 네, 그러리라 생각됩니다. 자, 이렇게 해서 D조의 경기가 끝났고 잠시 후에 오늘의 마지막 경기 G조 윤용태 선수와 박지혜 선수가 바통을 이어받게 되겠습니다.